The following podcast is for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is advised. The views and opinions expressed on this episode are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of EMX or EMP, but whether it does or not ain't none of your goddamn business.
I am Magneto. You are nothing.
EMX, episode 85. Patreon. Yeah. Definitely try to help us out with Patreon if you can. Patreon.com/EMPcast, where you can donate as little as $1 a month to help out the show. And you will get early access to our EMBS episodes. You get a full 30-day access earlier than the rest of the world to hear us talk about any and everything else except for what we talk about on these shows here. So come hang out with us about an hour or so. Patreon.com/EMPcast. How we doing, Viet?
Yeah. Pretty good. It's kind of funny because like our EMP episode just came out, and I was whoring out for followers on Twitch, and yeah, like I doubled my numbers by the time the episode came out. But hey, I'll take more followers.
Awesome.
Because I don't know. It's like I don't know the difference between a partner and an affiliate, but I'm at affiliate status. It just means that I can make money by streaming now.
Boom.
Oh yeah.
We've reached the goal that we've been looking out for the longest time.
Yeah. And also they don't make it easy, but if you have Amazon Prime and you can subscribe to one channel for free every month.
You got to remind me about that, because you told me and I haven't had a chance to really look in on it.
Yeah, like they don't make it easy, but I'm all for you spending some of Amazon's money to give me money. Right. So it's absolutely free. Like you basically you link your, I think it's called like gaming.amazon.com, and you link your Twitch account to that. And then once you do that, you go to my page, twitch.tv/comedianviet, and then you just hit the sub and you pick sub with Prime. And like normally that would cost you like $4.99. You do it for free, and I get like half of that.
Oh yeah. So yeah, remind me when it's time again so I can make sure I get in on it.
Yes. So yay, I can another thing for me to whore myself out about. But the live streams have been pretty fun. Surprisingly. I'm just like, people want to watch me paint and make toys.
Like, okay. They want to learn from the master. See how it's done.
Guess. I ain't no master. It was funny because like yesterday I was working on Million from My Hero Academia, and there's like he's got a really silly costume, right? He's got like the number 1 million on his chest, and I was like, oh god, I had to paint this on like a 6-inch figure. And I was like, okay, here we go, first try. And then like people in the chat were like, this is so intense. Like, kids, you can't mess up.
Look, I know quarantine has got us all kind of climbing the walls, but I mean, no disrespect, but I feel like there's other stuff out there.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I was just like, you guys, it's just painting. Like, it's fine. I can always paint over it. Like, this is not serious. But they were probably being sarcastic, of course. But it didn't help that I was playing some of I had Jared's music, I think, playing in the background, JFX 316, right? And he has like, I think it was like an intense, like his beats are very post-apocalyptic, like techno, like intense kind of thing. So that added more more suspense. It was pretty fun.
His music is definitely not for the faint of heart, but you should definitely check it out.
Yes.
Unless you're faint of heart, in which case we accept no liabilities for anything that happens to you.
Especially if you're in America.
Yeah. If you're in America, you've got bigger problems. So.
Yeah.
All right, Viet, why don't you handle the introductions?
All right. Did you want to talk about anything? Corey?
No, I'm good. We just felt like we just spoke
All right.
yesterday, but you know, it's only been a couple days, so nothing new's happened in that time.
Gotcha. Well, cool. All right. Welcome to EMX. I am Viet, and with me, as always, is
Salutations.
Corwin. And with us is returning special guest, Thacher Cleveland.
I'm like a bad. I'm beginning to just like. I'm gonna have you guys reserve a chair for me because I feel like this is. I've been on the show a lot, and I appreciate it. I love it. I enjoy doing it, but you know.
Yeah, we might add you to the list of names of our white friends.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
Yeah.
again, like you know, white guys, we're cheap and plentiful, so it's definitely a buyer's market. You have a lot of options, you know, and I appreciate you sticking with the Thacher Cleveland brand. It's much appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, we do have that sign that says no Thatchers allowed, but it means that we can have one.
Exactly, and it probably has the second T in the name, which is always what trips people up because there's only one T in my name.
It definitely tripped me up.
Yeah, I'm used to it at this point. You know, you can't really be all like, "Oh, you spelled my name wrong." It's like, well, you got a weird fucking name. I don't know what to tell you. That's just how it is.
Yeah, it's like someone trying to pronounce my last name, and they like feel really bad about not being able. I'm like, it's fine. Like, it's not a normal pronunciation. Thank you for at least just asking how to pronounce it right.
Yeah, when in doubt, you know, just ask. I think that just, you know, if there's anything, you know, that life has taught us recently, it's that, you know.
Yep. Indeed.
So listeners should be used to Thatch by now, but they may not be familiar with your workings. So go ahead and tell listeners about what you do for a living.
Not much nowadays, but I do. I'm a writer. I'm a letterer. You can usually find me at all manner of conventions in the Midwest and Southeast. But not happen anymore. So now I'm just at home with my girlfriend and our 5 animals, which thankfully we're now just down to 5. We had 6 for a while. That's too many animals. We were fostering another dog. It's crazy. But it's over. So now, you know, I'm at home in pajamas, playing video games, writing things, occasionally lettering stuff. You know, it's the new normal, I guess. And you can find out all about it on my webpage, www.demonweasel.com. Or you can also, I too have joined the Patreon bandwagon, or as I like to call it, the Too Ugly for OnlyFans. And that's patreon.com/demonweasel.
Yeah, I won't speak for Corwin, but I will say for myself that is also true for our Patreon.
Well, Corwin's a very handsome man. Like, I've only seen pictures, but I'm like, it's a handsome man.
Yeah,
what are you gonna do?
He's quite pretty.
Yeah, I think. I prefer handsome.
Me, I'm all right. But I'm adorable.
We all have our different gifts and skills, and that's what's important.
And that's the truth. Anyways, we ready to go?
We
Start of
we
the show?
are ready to go. Timer is you got to explain what we're doing here.
Yes. This will be 1 hour of uncut, uncensored, and unscripted conversation about the X-Men books from August 2020. Watch for spoilers. Hang on to your seats because we are starting now.
That you are the guest, so you can pick the first book you would like to talk about, likes, dislikes, etc.
Yeah, I will. Let's jump in with the new stuff. I always like to try out the new things first. I don't know if we want to talk about them as a group or just take it issue by issue. But the Empyre X-Men crossover, we're doing issues 2, 3, and 4 because
We can just do it as a set.
yeah, it was a busy month, and I'm sure they're still doing a lot of like scheduling gymnastics to be like, I don't just put the comics out. We didn't have them out for like a month and a half. Just go. Everything that's done, just go. But yeah, I went into this knowing absolutely nothing about the Empyre crossover except that it involved space and people that live in space. And then so the first issue kind of did a good set. I was like, oh, okay, plant people from space. That's cool. All right, zombies, mutant zombies. Okay, and yeah, plants versus zombies. Okay. And then horticulture shows up, and I'm like, all right, old ladies versus plants versus zombies. And then we get demons, so it's plants versus zombies versus old ladies versus demons. Plus, there's also X-Men in there. So
Yeah.
that sounds super crowded, but I feel like it actually worked out okay.
Yeah, you have space plants versus mutant zombies versus science botanist golden girls and
versus mutants.
Yeah, versus regular mutants versus demons.
And horticulture with their for lack of a better term, horny spray.
Yeah.
Where they can just like spray dudes and then they're like super into them, which no judgment. People have different likes and dislikes. I'm not here to, get on your case about that. But it's, I mean, they're funny. I don't remember exactly. I think it was an issue of X-Men when they showed up before.
Yeah, they just showed up. They just showed up and beat the shit out of Cyclops, Magneto, and Emma Frost, like easily.
No, it was Cyclops.
Yeah,
it was Cyclops, the Black King, and Emma Frost.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, but fuck that guy. I mean, he deserved to get beat up. But yeah, like they're super interesting and unique villains, which that's really hard to do nowadays. The overall story, you could really it's basically just another chapter of Wanda Maximoff fucks things up for everyone. So I thought it was a little weird that we didn't really get back into, like, I kind of expected her to keep to just show up at some point and just be like, you know what, guys, my bad. This is on me. I know. I'm working on it. I'm in therapy. We got Dr. Strange over here. And he's like, I'm not that kind of a doctor. But that didn't really show up until the last issue. And the way that they wrapped all that up, I found incredibly humorous.
Well, she had her own problems around this time in the Savage Land, but yeah.
Yeah, like I wanna, yeah, like it's like at this point we start calling it, pulling a Wanda.
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely one of those things, like the saying, like you keep running into the same problems. It's not other people, it's you. Wanda, it's definitely you. Like, just take a vacation, have a beer. Maybe, I mean, your kids were, I guess, in this one, and the big overall Empyre. Maybe, touch base with them, send them a card. Your weird fake magic made up kids. Yeah, this whole thing. Like, as I was reading it, I was like, all right, and it's just like it's an event crossover. Like, I can't make the jerking off motion any harder than I do for event crossovers, because traditionally they're just But if you're going to have an event crossover, this is kind of a way to do it. You've got plant people invading the moon, and then you've got they wind up on Genosha. So I dug it. I thought I'm glad it was just the 4 issues. Any more really would have been pushing it. But then there were a lot of cool moments in it.
Yeah.
Like the exploding boy, who was a zombie. He was sort of like our focal point for the zombies. He was kind of like their spokesman. Some kid, I'm presuming we'd never seen before, who, he just blows things up. That's his power. He blows things up. And he actually gets reunited with himself that has been resurrected on Krakoa. And so, like, they, like, him and like his zombie self kind of like hang out and they chat for a little bit. And he's like, oh, I finally kissed a girl. He's like, oh shit, kissed a girl? Really? He's like, yeah, it was pretty cool. And he's like, oh, that's sweet. Like little touches like that adds to it. Like, that makes a book like this a little bit more, for lack of a better phrase, worthwhile.
Agreed. And
yeah, I was surprised like how fun this was. Like, and I didn't finish like the last issue, but like maybe maybe I only got through halfway of 3, and I was waiting for you guys to get on. I was like scrolling through it, and I was just like, oh my god, there's a lot. There's some crazy shit
and magic,
in this book.
going full demon with the staff and being corrupted. I mean,
yeah.
And she's all like, that's right, I got the staff now. I'm going to rule everything. I'm going to screw that guy. I'm going to screw that guy. Fuck you. I'm going to kill you. And then they're like, by the way, when they showed up, and they were like, yeah, the spell's going to be over in 30 days. It's now. It's over now. And just like, bang. And then she's just sort of like, yeah, I said what I said. Whatever.
And that whole thing about like killing all the Madrox dupes, so the zombies could eat all the dupes.
Yeah. Like, it's just it is a wild ride from start to finish. And like I said, very pleasantly surprising.
agreed.
Yeah.
It had some really good art. Jorge Molina, Tom, was it Wernick on issue 4? I mean, Hickman was right. They had a whole it's like a whole X-Men crew. Hickman did some writing on it. Vital.
Yeah, Hickman did issue
Vita
2.
Alaya, Zeb Wells, Ed Brisson did issue 3 with Andrea Brook. I can't even pronounce this dude's name.
I say Jerry Duggan, Ben Percy, and Liam Williams did issue 2.
Yeah, so I mean, they just had a whole bunch of people in here. It was just so everywhere that it was just fun and silly.
I'll be honest, I didn't even notice my Kindle is small, so sometimes I just skim past the credits page. I didn't even realize that it was, put together like that, writing wise. You wouldn't know. I feel like it flows pretty seamlessly.
Agreed.
So good for them.
I didn't even realize Shadow King was back. I guess we should have assumed it, but we finally see him coming through one of the portals here when all the Psychics come to help.
You know, yeah, I had that moment too. I was like, I mean, I get it. Like, they're giving everyone a fresh start. Like good guys, bad guys. But it's like at some point, you just got to be like,
Something as
what,
big
this
as your
guy?
head.
Yeah, like this. Really? We're going to do this guy. Are you sure? Because he's a dick, like a lot.
You would
All
think,
right.
yeah.
I guess we're bringing him back.
Yeah, talk about Professor X not holding a grudge. He was like, "Hey, remember how I couldn't walk for a really fucking long time?"
He's like, look, I get it. I break my back a lot, like an unreasonable amount of times. I Wanda Maximoff my back on the regular, but this guy started it.
No
So.
more leg functions.
More leg functioning. Like at this point, I feel like if like you go to Charles, well, I mean, he's walking around now, so it's like he's really just like a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
But like if he loses the legs again, at that point, don't even like accept a cure or whatever. Just be like, you know what, I'm good. I've already got all the stuff installed. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with being a quadriplegic. It's cool. I'll be honest with you. I'm used to it. So
I love the fact that B stole some technology from horticulture. Hopefully that'll spill over into something else eventually.
oh yeah. I'm sure that this will not be the last we see of them. And one of the things that I like about how all these X-Men books are working together now is they're planting a lot of seeds across different titles. Like it's really well thought out. So there's no like, I don't know, have them fight the Juggernaut. We'll figure out what to do next month.
Yeah, I swear for this plot they put ideas on a dartboard and just like,
I'm
all right,
sure.
yeah, we're like zombies, got it.
They're like zombies. Like it honestly, my ideal, like knowing that it's got all the different creative teams, my ideal version of how this was put together is that they didn't talk at all until they got the script for the previous issue, and they're like, all right, like we know generally what we're doing, but here you go. I put in horticulture, so deal with them. Work with them. And the other person's like, oh yeah, like it's like the passing the story stick. Can sort of writing improv. And these, I mean, the people working on the X-Men books, they got the chops to do that. So my proverbial cap is off to them.
Loved it. I regret.
So that's 3 books.
I regret nothing. So. I think that's the episode title. Unless something better comes along.
Yeah.
That magic scene was fantastic.
What's it called? So isn't the kid from the worst X-Men ever, is it? Or is
that should be a
kid?
different. You know what? I'm gonna assume it's a different kid because that kid actually literally dies whenever the first time he uses his power. He die.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That there was a mini series called The Worst X-Men Ever, and they basically just found out that his mutant power was to explode, but he only explodes like once
because it'll kill him. He'll stay dead
because he'll die. And
yeah, it sounds vaguely familiar. Like I may have.
And that's what I thought it was, but I was like, wait a minute, he's not a Genosian mutate, so it's got to be somebody different, right?
What was the name of the dude that wrote that?
Because also, I feel like that worst X-Men ever thing that was more recent than when Grant Morrison just Godzilla the crap out of Genosha.
Right. So
now you got me trying to remember that dude's name. He wrote that
But he's what's weird is like he's also, I guess he was more of a teenager, but like he's but he was like also a blonde kid, so that kind of makes it a little confusing.
Max Bemis. There we go. He he
Oh,
wrote that
okay.
miniseries. It's a good one too. All right. Whoops. Go back. I was gonna say moving right along, but the moving is not moving like it should. The next book I will pick. Let's go with Giant Size Fantomex. Giant Size X-Men Fantomex, which is kind of continuing. Now my tablet doesn't want to open the damn program. The app, which is continuing in the whole Giant Size storyline, and this one is kind of finally linking them together in some ways. We go into Fantomex's history with the world and his supposed twin brother, who ended up being, what was it, Weapon 14? Yeah, well, you never read Morrison's run, did you?
Not
Okay.
all of it. I only read like some of the new X-Men stuff.
So yeah, it kind of delves into his history and his brother, and they're kind of connecting it all together. So I thought it was interesting how they kind of did link it, and also dealing with the children of the vault, who also, I believe, at one time were connected to the world and were developed in the world as well. So they're all kind of linked together. And in this issue, we also bring in Cypher, who had a kind of a bigger role with the Nightcrawler giant-sized issue as well. So it looks like this is where they're going to solve Storm's problem. And I'm hoping that we'll at least get to see Cinch and X-23 and whoever else went through that portal way back when in the X-Men, and we haven't seen them since.
Oh yeah.
But love the art. It's actually didn't do the creative team. Jonathan Hickman and Rod Rice. Fun issue.
Yeah, it was weird. It was all over the place weird. Like, I like the way they format the story, and like at the beginning where it's like, and 10 years ago and 10 years later, and like they kind of touch on old school Hellfire Club, the Grant Morrison era X-Men, all the different times he's sort of like shown up. And I think like in like the
Fandos, yeah,
Howling
Nick Fury and the
Commandos,
Howling Commandos.
yeah, two eye having Nick Fury. So it's like it's pretty interesting, and yeah, it's and like the art is definitely very cool. Like, I really, who is this dude again? Because I dig their style. Rod Rice, yeah, pretty cool. I really do feel like these giant size X-Men books can go literally anywhere at this point. Like, the stuff that they're doing in them, like Nito one last month, which seemed like a total one-off, but
who knows?
I'm sure is not. It's like it'll probably tie into this at some point. Also, the Humungonauts finally show up. Like, I've been waiting for them to come back for forever, which is a joke because I don't think they've ever existed until now. They were literally like, we're going to throw these people away. Because Fantomex just keeps being like, hey, help me break into this place, and then ditches, those folks.
Mm-hmm.
And true, Fantomex is a douchebag.
And then we end up during the new X-Men era where he gets Wolverine and Cyclops to help him break in, which was great.
Yeah, I don't know if that's supposed to be like a retelling of what. I don't remember the original, like Fantomex originally showing like his original appearance before. So I don't know if this is sort of like a retelling of exactly what they did last time.
Pretty much.
Okay. Oh, Fantomex, you wacky bastard.
Yeah, I like it when he's with the Howling Commandos that he wears like a beret.
Yeah. And everyone, like, it's a nice touch because, we're reading this, not listening to it, but the people commenting on his accent, they're like, what the fuck? Like, what accent are you doing? What is that? Were you Dutch? Like, what is happening?
He only does it to annoy people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of, kind of interesting, weird jackassery, which honestly, me personally, when I think of Fantomex, I think of weird jackassery. So yeah, I feel like that's his bread and butter.
And he rides a pterodactyl.
I like how his costume changes throughout the years too. It tweaks as it goes.
Yeah, he's just like, oh man, I'm working with the Howling Commandos. I better wear this beret to distinguish myself.
Yeah, it's like I'll totally blend right in my all white, like I already look like a great value beachhead from GI Joe, but I'll put a beret on my head, and there we go. I'm fitting right in.
Yeah, like if you were teaming up with Moon Knight, maybe you're just like, okay, one of us has to put on a red beret.
Yeah,
okay?
exactly. Like one of us has to go home. All right.
Yeah.
So.
But other than that, I think you're good.
And I like the fact that his whole origins here is explained, how he is, a twin, and they kept his brother and rejected him and threw him out. So his whole thing has always been kind of wanting to be the best and feeling inferior, especially during the X-Force run by, I think, Spurrier, where, he really went off the rails trying to get this power so he can be the best. So his ego and stuff, it all kind of gels right here. He really fleshed out a lot of Fantomex's history here. Motivation.
Yeah. Yeah, it's he's definitely a Grant Morrison character. That's really all I can say about Fantomex. It's like, yep, Grant Morrison made this dude up. That's for sure. Him and Animal Man are going to go out for beers later.
Oh, snap. When the Hellfire Club's fighting in the world, there's actually a giant gorilla with a space helmet on.
Fantastic.
Oh my.
Yeah, like the stuff that Rod Rice puts in the world for them all to fight, like like a killer octopus and like a big smiley robot. Like it
looks like
delightfully
a cat
insane.
astronaut with a gun.
But the cool thing is they evolve over the years. Every 10 years he comes back, you see the evolution of these creatures and how they've changed, and it's a good touch. Give it to him.
Yeah. Yeah, because the world just, because of the weird, time jackassery, it just kind of like keeps evolving and changing. And, and then at the end, it's like, they're basically like in a Salvador Dali painting with castles and floating eyeballs and Easter Island heads and, the usual stuff you find.
Yeah, like you do.
Like you do. I mean, who hasn't come across an Easter Island head?
Yep. The world is all Wanda up.
Yeah. They winded the crap out of that place. Oh, Wanda.
All right, Viet, what do you got? Let's keep it moving.
All right. No big surprise. Marauders number 11. We got this is the path to X of Swords. Let's see, Jerry Duggan writing, Stefano Caselli on the art, colors by Edgar Delgado. And I mean, I don't know, part of me was like, I don't know, like how Kitty is finally brought back. Like, I don't know how you would do it, but it felt like a little anticlimactic how she came back
Mhm.
to me, but I'm glad she is back. And then
Yeah,
now it's more of like now it's a good setup for like how she's gonna get her revenge, and I can't wait.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, she's coming back, you guys. Like, I do kind of wish they'd stretched it out maybe a little bit longer, but you know, it is what it is. Because I mean, there's also it's like they're not going to keep anyone
Yeah.
dead because they kill people a lot now, like a lot.
I wonder who has a. I
Like
wonder who has
people,
the tally. I think Kid Omega may have the most deaths and resurrections so far.
I'm pretty sure
yeah,
Quinn Quire has the most deaths.
I forget what. I know that comes up in a book that's out this month where he's like, oh
Yeah.
Jesus, not again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's died in every issue of X-Force.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like people are like, oh man, I got a hangnail. I got to wait for this to grow out. No,
Yeah.
no, I don't, and then they just blow their brains out. Like,
Yeah.
all right, cool.
Yeah, Quentin Quire is the Kenny
Of the X-Men.
of the X-Men. Except no one gets mad. Like no one says, "You bastard."
Yeah, they're like,
He kind of deserved it.
I mean, you've met him, right?
But yeah, this is still a solid book. And like I said, I don't know what a good way would be to bring her back where I would be like, oh wow, that's really cool. And this one didn't, like, it was just because she was trying to phase the whole time.
Yeah, it's a little
Like,
it's a little light
it
on
seemed
details.
slightly lame, but okay.
I hope that they don't that they don't give up on giving us a more solid reason as to why she hasn't been able to use the gates, because it's still kind of unclear if she's still in that, for lack of a better term, still in the same boat of not being able to go through the Krakoan gates. But if that, so who knows if that's been fixed now because she's been reborn.
Well, it seems like she has to phase in order to use it. That's what it sounds like. It's a kind of a phasing thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, we definitely need a better explanation of it. But this whole 18 thing, I don't really understand that. I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't know if listeners out there. Thatch, are you Jewish?
No, I did grow up with a lot of
Okay.
Jews. So what I missed, I might have missed that thing that you're
So
referring
yeah,
to.
listeners, let us know what the significance of 18 is, because Nightcrawler made it seem like a big thing. For it took them 18 times to resurrect her.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Let me Google this and hopefully won't be flagged to be an anti-Semite.
At this point, I feel like it really takes a lot to get you labeled as an anti-Semite nowadays. They're probably just like, oh, this is business as usual in 2020. Whatevs, bros.
And the Caselli art is so good sometimes. It's just I don't understand. It's like I don't know if it's the colorist or if it's just certain times he doesn't put detail in it, but some of it is just fantastic and some of it just looks not unfinished but just flat. I don't get it. There's like his details. He used to put a lot more details in certain page. Well, not even in his art. Certain pages have a lot more details and lines than others, and it's I don't know.
At this point, I would not be surprised at the amount of time, big two comic artists have to put together books. You know, like it could be, hey, we're going along with this for a while, and then it's like, oh, by the way, dude, we need this in like 3 days, and they're like, oh, Jesus, and they got to like, you know, basically cram to get that in there.
I mean, even like the train scene is perfect. The art there is just great. With the storm in the train and the people and the backgrounds, all that stuff is perfect. But when you get later on to like the page where Kitty actually wakes up and gets pulled through, it's like Nightcrawler's face has a lot of detail, but then as you look at like Kitty's body when she's stepping out, it's just everything just gets flat as you go down the page.
Okay. According to the Google machine, and I probably will be mispronouncing some of this, in gematria, a form of Jewish numerology, the number 18 stands for life, because the Hebrew letters that spell chai, meaning living, add up to 18.
Oh. Okay.
So there.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, 18 is a lucky number for Jewish people.
There you have it.
I must have missed that at all the bar mitzvahs I went to growing up. To be fair, we were all like, you know, we were doing like hammer dancing and stuff like that. We had bigger things on our mind when we were 13. So we were like, you know, let's talk about numerology and like the deep shit, you know, like let's really get into it.
But you can't touch this.
Exactly. But
terrible.
in the meantime, let's get on the floor and walk that dinosaur. What do you say? Yeah, I'm old, folks. I don't know what to tell you. That was a thing. That was a legitimate song that was on the radio about walking a dinosaur. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. We did what we did.
You had
We
to
had
open
what
the
we
door.
had. Yeah.
So bad. Anyway,
All right. Is it back?
Yeah.
It's back.
it is
me,
back
isn't
to you.
it? All right. I will. I'll do table number 3 because I've been really enjoying this book. And even though it has a Deadpool appearance, who I don't dislike Deadpool. I worked in a comic shop during the time where there were 18, again, it's important, 18 Deadpool titles at any given moment. So like as soon as I see him, just like my brain just begins to clench. But you know, we got, again, this is, I don't think they have it on the cover, or they don't mention it on the cover, but it is a 10 of Swords getting up there, because this is going to be one of those swords, like his cool space sword that the Space Knights have. Which again,
Jerry Duggan and Phil Noto on the creative team.
And Phil Noto,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here. Phil Noto, man, come on. That's a slam dunk any way you put it. And then there's the kind of disturbing. Again, I don't remember exactly. Like I wasn't paying attention, and young Cable first showed up and apparently killed old Cable. But we get a little taste of that.
That was a while ago. That's back during the whole X-Men Gold and Blue and Red teams back then. I even got the name of the event. What was it, Viet?
Age of X-Men?
It was way
Before
before
Age
that.
of X-Men.
It'll come to me. Keep going.
Yeah, it's when they were basically fixing with the whole like original five X-Men coming back.
Yeah,
from the past.
he's the one that forced them back.
Yeah, so they're stealing old Cable's arm. We've got wacky cultists. We have a one of the Space Knights gets his head cut off, and the other one has to wear it like Dr. Theopolis from Buck Rogers around his neck.
Oh
You want
yeah.
to talk about a deep cut? Yeah. Again, I'm old, folks. I'm really old.
You could maybe say Hangover style.
Or that too, I
Maybe.
guess, if you want
Yeah.
to be, like a child. I'm talking about Tweaky carrying a light bright around his neck that was actually some sort of doctor. Again, it was the 80s. We didn't have anything else going on. I don't know what to tell you. This is what we did. It was this or the dinosaur song. But yeah, like I dig it. Like I dig where, young Cable and his Stepford Cuckoo girlfriends, kind of just going out and having adventures and doing weird shit.
And I mean, of the Deadpool that I have read and liked, Jerry Duggan has usually been involved.
Yeah,
And this Deadpool was tastefully done.
yeah,
I
good
thought.
Deadpool. It makes sense, they weren't, it's not like, they're trying to shoehorn him and Hitmonkey into the book. But like, okay, yeah, because Cable and Deadpool friends, makes sense that he'd be like, hey, steal my body, and that he would do it in a super weird way.
Yeah. I didn't recall anywhere in the letter to put him
Table,
into a pool table.
That's that's
I mean
the
that's
extra
just like an
Deadpool touch.
added Deadpool touch.
Idiot. Solid stuff. These cult or whoever that marks their faces, the Order of X people are just weird.
Not
No, not
creepy
at
at
all.
all.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see where they end up with this. With those folks, because you got to know that people that are just going to carve a big X onto their face, that they're here to party, like, and they're gonna party hard, like that's.
Yeah. Not like MC Hammer Walk the Dinosaur party.
No, this is
Not like a bar mitzvah.
yeah, no, this is some Andrew WK shit right here. This is it's a little more, yeah, a little heavy.
Stay away from the Kool-Aid.
All right. All right, let's see what we can jump into next. What do we got? Let me go with X Factor #2, written by Leah Williams with art by David Baldion and Israel Silva on colors. Make sure I'm not getting this book mixed up with the third issue, but this is issue 2. I like this book.
I don't think
I
read
like this book just because it is so different than the rest of the books. I mean, it really has a place. The team here is just weird enough. I mean, Dakin, Polaris, Rachel, who really needs a different name. Is she still going by Prodigy or Prestige? Prestige, sorry.
Yeah.
We have a Prodigy and a Prestige on this team. I hate that name. Amazing Baby's wonderful. The little werewolf, baby werewolf. But no, I just wanted to say that this book is really gelling for me. I'm enjoying it, and it gets crazier, of course, because then we deal with the Mojoverse.
Goddamn Mojoverse. But yeah, like it's decent. Like big ups to her for making the Mojoverse tolerable, because it's always just like it could really go either way. Like even the older Claremont stuff with the Mojoverse, it really felt like you were flipping a coin a lot of the time as to how interesting the story is going to be. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
And they got live streaming, so you might want to sign yourself up for it.
There you go. I speaking of Mojo, I saw some like a meme recently of somebody was getting his wife to watch the X-Men animated series for the first time, and her first comment was, "Did they model Mojo after Harvey Weinstein?"
Mm.
And I was just like, ah.
I mean,
I mean, she's not wrong.
yeah. I will say too about and this is, about the X Factor book, just on the whole, and especially, in this title, in this issue, she writes Doc in a way that I think is actually sort of enjoyable. Like he's very, like, before, like, I feel like even when he was first introduced before, he was just sort of like angrier, eviler, great value Wolverine. And like now it's like, okay, yeah, he, like, I haven't really read a lot of other stuff with him previously, but even just reading these last couple of issues, I'm just like, oh, he's got a personality. And he's, the whole, like, being basically like a murder bisexual is always hilarious. But yeah, it's just this book is good times. This is definitely good times.
Yeah, I need to read this. I can't believe.
And I like their costumes. They're kind of color coordinated to whatever they're all different colors, but the overall look of their costumes I'm really enjoying as well. Boy, I think needs something a bit more regal. He just looks a bit out of place compared to everybody else.
Yeah, but I mean, he's also sort of a massive dork, but that's like part of his charm, because his power is he has eyes all over his body, so it's like, honestly, like, I feel like he should go for some more short sleeves. But then again, I guess if you have eyes all over your body, you don't want to, like, accidentally bump into things. And like, because it's bad enough when you poke yourself in the eye, like, accidentally, when, like, you're rubbing, like, if it's like on your elbow and like you brush a door wrong, that's gotta hurt.
Well, it's just North Star and like Polaris and Rachel. They all have this kind of regal, kind of uniformed up look, and he's just kind of the slacker of the group. He doesn't really look like he belongs, but we'll see.
There was a series where I think, like, it was like a future storyline where, and then he had guns.
Oh, that was Jason Aaron, and he had the black costume.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The jetpack.
Yeah, like, he was actually pretty cool looking there. They could have went that route.
They'll get there eventually. I do love in this, Polaris always seems to have this little electrical halo over her head. I think that's a very nice effect for her as well.
It's still weird having an X Factor book without Madrix, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's of the X Factor books, that was definitely, one of the better ones.
Yeah.
But it's cool, like,
It
doing
kind of
its
does
own
have the
thing.
same feel. Yeah.
And I think it is pretty important, like, especially when you have as many X books as we have now, that there is a specific, like, there's a specific mission statement that this one has. And I think and especially when, I mean, it's like, we talked about before, like, they're just bringing everybody back to life, getting into like, having a book that's really sort of dedicated to that. Great idea.
Agreed.
Because it's a huge thing, And every issue, like, I mean, it's just been 2 issues, but every issue really seems like it's got a lot of stuff in it. There doesn't really feel like there's a lot of filler or like wasted pages. Like, a lot is happening. and she's putting a lot of words on the page, and David Bellion's really, and the lettering folks. Who's the letterer? Let's start. I'm a letterer now, so we have to start talking about that. Joe Carmanga.
Yes, add whatever you can because
Carmanga.
Yeah. I don't think anybody really notices the letter unless they mess up.
Exactly. That's exactly where the unsung heroes of comic books. So let me tell you, when you I haven't done a whole ton of lettering. I've done some stuff for people, but I did a big project for someone, and while the artwork was really nice, the storytelling and the scripting stuff of it, there was a lot of stuff that made my life difficult. And I was like, oh, I get the whole notion of you want your speakers to progress left to right, all that jazz. When you've got an artist or whatever that's not doing that, and you kind of have to just make lemonade. So, but yeah, good stuff.
All right, we're running out of time. Got about 15 minutes left. Viet.
I will go with X-Force number 11. And it's written by Benjamin Percy. Don't know. Can't find the creative. Here we go. Okay, I wasn't sure. But Basil Dua doesn't have a first name. Okay. Is the artist. Colors by Guru EFX. Letters for VC's Joe Caramagna. And yeah, I was just like, ooh, maybe a Colossus focused issue, and then nope, he's just saying fuck you, I'm farming. And I was like, okay, but yeah, we got a literal Russian nesting doll soldier.
Yeah, freaking, they don't have any skin, it's just muscles. Ugh.
Yeah. And and then we get
smaller.
Quentin Quire gets killed by that's not the. Is that the Cerebro?
That is a Cerebro sword.
Yeah.
It is the Cerebro sword. Yeah.
Which seemed to be their intended mission is to steal it, which is pretty scary because I think, Alex and I were talking about it, so I kind of went back and looked it up, and it did say that from time to time it would gleam with information. It still has all its data in it. So.
But they just kept on coming out with a smaller version of the soldiers, and that's creepy as hell.
And poor Quentin, like we said, just can't catch a break. He finally scores with, who was that, Phoebe? Yeah, with one of the cuckoos, and right after celebrating, gets stabbed in the back with a damn sword and pushed through the gate, which pretty smart because normally it wouldn't be able to get the sword through the gate, but if it's in a mutant. Can use the gate.
Just let me be happy just for a little bit.
I like how I feel like that should be the motto for Krakoa travel. Hey, if it's in a mutant, we can get it there. Krakoa travel. Getting you where you need to be.
In any orifice you choose.
Oh,
yeah.
And then we have Mikhail, who is the oldest Rasputin, Colossus, and Magic's biggest brother.
Oh, that's who that guy is. Yeah. That's a deep cut.
It's about time for a new costume. They could have really redesigned
Yeah,
that.
I mean, he's literally just a bodysuit, black bodysuit, red cape. He's like, this is Russia. We could barely get blue jeans back in the day. This is what we have.
Yeah, we keep it simple here.
But this does seem like another, especially with the whole Cerebro sword thing. It does seem like it's another book that's teasing the whole Ten of Swords thing coming up. So.
Yeah, you just can't. They can't catch a break with their security lately. It's just. Every time you blink, they're getting invaded or something.
To be fair, their house used to blow up a lot. They're really just sticking with the theme. They just have
This was supposed to be an improvement.
I mean, it kind of is. It hasn't blown up yet. They just get a lot of unwanted guests.
Yeah. Krakoa is the shield helicarrier of the X-Men.
I like how Beast killed one of these things, just twist his neck around, just quick.
Yeah, like X-Force is like really gory. Like just this book in general. Like there was a point where like half of like Wolverine was like torn in half and he was still like running around like stabbing people.
True.
Wolverine's gonna Wolverine.
Yep.
Mm.
But yeah, like I wonder how small they eventually get though. Like are they going down to like cells? Is this like a Cell Saga type of thing?
Lord knows, but can't divide by zero, as Domino says.
Yeah.
Good touch. I really like this book. This is definitely one of the more enjoyable ones as well. All right, 10-minute warning.
Okay. Let's do the core. Let's do X-Men 11. I just totally lost my place. There we go. Written by Hickman. Yeah, well, I was gonna say it's got to be Lionel Francis Yu.
Yep.
Yes. Sonny Go is the colorist. Clayton Cowles is the letterer. While it kind of like, again, we get a little bit more of an Empire crossover because we got Plant Dude showing up, and I guess they're like, hey, let's go after last issue. They're like, let's go blow up these people's house. And all manner of craziness ensues. Very Magneto focused. Once again, reminding everyone that Magneto is a massive badass. Dropping satellites from the sky onto people, and then, So my favorite bit is when they have Magma have a volcano just explode lava up there. Iceman cools the lava down, and Magneto is able to take all the heavily like magnetic ore, or the liquid iron, and just basically turns it into spears and shreds some space broccoli to death. So pretty dope, and kind of bookended with Magneto's number one fanboy, Exodus, once again, teaching the children, letting them know how it's done. So it sort of gets into a little bit more, again, that undercurrent of the X-Men is sort of a cult now. What a good cult. I mean, not a cutting your face open cult. But,
it's on the verge of religion.
Yeah, it's kind of, they're really towing the line at like David Koresh and Waco, but good on.
I like the fact that we see Magneto here with his 3 different uniforms.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna do really messed up kind of evil guy stuff. I better put on my old evil guy outfit.
Yeah.
Well, you wear red so they don't see the blood.
Yeah.
On Wednesdays we wear pink.
I like the intro with what do they call the white dude? I completely forgot his name now. And this game that he's playing, that he's duped Rockslide and Loa into playing, it's just like, what are the actual stakes of this game? But of course, everything gets interrupted. Summoner was his name. I'm wondering if these kids know what they're getting themselves into with this game, even though it gets stopped or postponed.
Yeah, because the dude's like, oh, we're gonna play this game, and by the way, we're absolutely not gonna stop playing it until it's over. So good luck to everybody. May the odds be in your favor.
You know, without actually saying what happens when you lose. You know, it's like you can't agree to a game without knowing the
Mm-hmm.
repercussions of it. But I wanted to go back to this text page with this report from Cyclops to the Council, and this last paragraph where they talked about enhanced combat techniques, I thought was a really interesting look at how. Well, here's the thing: is it mutants working together, or is this the beginning of them trying to come up with chimeras of combining different powers in people they resurrect?
Could be.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me if you've got every mutant basically, and you're all living under the same island roof, and your house gets broken into a lot. After a while, you're going to be like, all right, we need these four. It's kind of like what they do with the Five, with bringing people back to life, but for defending themselves and or blowing lots of
Yeah,
stuff up.
that's what I used to love about the X-Men is how they use their powers in conjunction, the teamwork factor.
I know we don't reflect very well on Curse of the Mutants, right? But still, one of the coolest things to me was when they blessed Iceman so
Holy
he would
water,
be like
yeah.
holy water to fight the vampires.
That was awesome. I wonder how long that lasts for.
That was pretty funny.
But yeah,
But yeah, like it seems like the cool team ups tend to be with Iceman.
all right.
It's very versatile.
4 minutes, four
Yeah.
minutes, 4 minutes. What can we do in this time?
Right. Are we lightning
Yeah,
round?
we've been in lightning round.
Okay.
I'm just very mouthy.
It's all good. Hellions.
All right.
We
what
have
do
Hellions,
have,
which I'm still enjoying a lot. The real misfits of Krakoa, and of course,
You want to talk? You want to talk about Gross? Was it in this one where what is it? She seals Havoc's
yep.
mouth shut, and yet he still like basically rips open like a bloody mouth
Yep.
hole for himself so he could speak. Like, what the
Just
hell,
evil
dude?
Havoc.
That's pretty
Yeah.
hardcore. Yeah.
Evil Havoc, and yeah, this book is just the misfits, just the straight worst of them. Even though in most cases they're kind of misunderstood for the most part, like Grey Crow and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
I
very-
didn't think I was gonna like this book.
Yeah, it really, if done poorly, it really could have been like the Mountain Dew of X-Men books, like really trying to out extreme X-Force. But it's kind of cool, and and also sort of like reminds you, yeah, Madeline Pryor, like granted, she's kind of cuckoo bananas, but she got a raw
Oh,
deal,
yeah.
man. Cyclops is still kind of a fuck boy. Like,
I love the callback though at the beginning where they kind of talk about her history and stuff, and I remember this very vividly when she had a problems with Jean. It's like in her dream she would be stripped of everything. She'd be like a mannequin, and Jean would take her face, her hair, and just strip her identity. And I thought this was a really good callback to that, where she's reminiscing on her history.
yeah,
But
This Steven Segovia art is
oh yeah,
great.
I'm very interested to see what ends up, or like what they find when they crack open Nanny and Orphan Maker. Because I honestly, like, I don't know if they've ever shown what's going on in like the robot egg.
I don't think so.
It's probably a smaller nanny, like a
Yeah.
Russian nesting doll.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could just have ourselves another Russian nesting doll situation, like you do. But yeah, it's interesting.
Does the Segovia art remind you of like Pepe Larraz at all?
Little bit.
Corin?
He's been around longer, I believe. I could be wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, like the
Yes.
style, or maybe it's just the coloring. Like it just
No,
seems.
there's a similar style.
Yeah.
Laraz is better, but
Yeah.
Segovia got props.
I agree.
Give him that for sure. All right, that is time. So the only things we really didn't talk about was Wolverine and Excalibur, which not much to be missed there with the Wolverine. I don't even remember what happened with this issue with Excalibur, but it's not very high on my list of favorite books, but Excalibur's still enjoyable.
Excalibur, it really is the epitome of well done but not for me, of all of these books. And with Wolverine, we got Draculas.
I don't think I'm big on magic. I think that's kind of the thing with my comics. I don't think the magic aspect really does it for me. In my anime, it's mechs, but in my comics, I think it's magic.
I feel like once you, and this is just can also go into why like a lot of times the Doctor Strange title is a hard sell. Once you throw magic into superhero stuff, which is essentially science fiction, like those are really hard genres to mesh, so degree of difficulty is just really high when it comes to what are we how you're gonna make that work with an already established universe that has a lot of crazy things in it.
Yeah, I really dug Jason Aaron's Doctor Strange. I think that's how I kind of got into Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
and,
that was.
And I've been getting the issues of like the future stuff, but I haven't actually read any of it.
Yeah, but we got Omega Red and a weird, like what started off as a locked room mystery, sort of, and then it became something else. But Wolverine's still damn good times.
We'll jump more into that maybe next episode since we are done here. Thatch, I want to thank you again for joining us, and at this rate, I probably should confer with Viet, but I don't think he's going to have a problem with inviting you back again next month, because I think we got a nice little team going here.
Happy to do it. I got nothing but time nowadays. Nothing but time. I mean, unless the people out there want to put together, like a change.org petition to keep me off, it wouldn't matter because no one pays attention to those things anyway. You're wasting your time, people. You're wasting your time. You're not bringing back that show you like because 10,000 people filled out a change.org thing.
Oh, so we're not getting a redone 8th season of Game of Thrones?
No, it's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
But I put my signature there.
I know, and you'd think, well, that's a binding legal contract. No such luck. No such luck, kids. Nice try.
All right. So before we get out of here, go ahead and plug your stuff once more, Thatch, where people can find your books and if they want to purchase your stuff.
I mean, like I said, you can find me at my webpage, www.demonweasel.com. That's also the Twitter, the Instagram, the Tumblr, because branding, son, branding.
Yep.
You can also, and Patreon. Patreon's still kind of new. I've been doing it for a couple of months. Some cool stuff on there, comic scripts. If you check it out, there's free, you can without signing up, you can read the first short story of an urban fantasy series that I've been working on for a while, as well as an 8-page comic that I did with, EM legend Alex Smith. You can check that out. But yeah, I'm all, and I mean, I am, and I'm also on Amazon. Thacher, Thacher, like I said, no extra T. Cleveland, like the city. Believe it or not, I'm the only one of those on Amazon.
And stay tuned for his Twitch channel with his boldly goings on.
or me. It's like because like I mentioned this on Facebook. Viet's kind of inspired me. I want to just do a thing where because I love playing video games, but I'm bad at them. Like I pretty much ruined my day by playing PvP Destiny 2 this morning and just being bad at it. So I was just kind of like in a cranky mood for the rest of the day. Just be like an hour of that, of me cursing out people that are much better at video games than me, or trying to like jump onto platforms and failing at it because I hate that crap.
Well,
It'd be great. It'll be great.
I finally made it through Last of Us 2, so now it's kind of like I need to get back to Destiny, but it's been so long that it's just
yeah, it's that's a whole other show. I could do a whole other show on Destiny. Destiny is like the abusive relationship of video games with me. They keep saying they're going to change. I keep coming back and believing them.
All right, well, next episode is episode 86 as we cover the X books for September 2020. You can find me on Twitter at EMPcast. Viet, where can they find you?
At Comedian Viet on the social medias, and then twitch.tv/Comedian Viet, where I make toys for a few hours on live stream. And
how often are you doing that nowadays?
2 days a week. I do it on Tuesday and Sunday nights.
Okay.
So come hanging out if that's a thing that you would like to do. They're starting to get like a handful of people that show up and chat. It makes it a little fun. I started putting like now that I'm affiliate, there's like you can get like channel points like while you're in the chat, and you can use the points for things. There's all kinds of weird things that I'm still trying to figure out.
I was about to say they really put some extra thought into how they do these things.
Yeah, turns out it's funny because like people, when I talk to people my age, like, hey, please like follow me on Twitch because I need the followers. The follow-up question usually is, what's a Twitch?
Yeah.
Which is also kind of good because I also know that most of these people have Amazon Prime. So I'm just like, hey, with just enough pestering, I can get my friends and family to subscribe to my Twitch so I can get free money. Although, Tad, I don't know if it's like that with Comixology because Twitch is an Amazon product.
Mm-hmm.
But the payout isn't until you make like $100 or some shit like that. Like you have to wait a long time.
Thankfully, Comixology is not like that. You do get monthly. It like when you self-publish on Amazon, you get a monthly. Even if it's just a handful of bucks.
Oh, okay.
You still get it. I mean, so that's good.
Nice. But yeah, apparently, with Twitch, you have to make it like at least $100. So it's like it take forever.
Like, all right, so $100 in 2022.
Yeah.
Here we come.
Yeah, here we go. Anyways, it's a lot of fun. So at least fun for me. Anyways. We are proud members of a few podcast networks where you can find us and a host of other podcasts. The Comics Podcast Network at comicspodcast.com. And if you're on Twitter, check out the hashtag #TheCollectiveNet, where it's like us. You can find us and a bunch of other comic book centric podcasts as well. And I think that's about it, guys.
Thanks again for hanging out with us, Thatch. Sorry to keep you up so late.
No worries. No worries. I'm on Central Time, so it's all good.
All right.
Hopefully our puppy won't wake me up at 4 a.m. Again.
You knew the job was dangerous when you took it.
Did I?
What dog number is this?
This is our second dog. This is also the third dog that I've ever lived with. Before that, I lived with a dog for like 3 months.
Okay.
And then I had a roommate that had a dog several years ago. I've always been a cat person. So
how old is Hoagie?
Hoagie is about 9 months. He's 1 year old in December 21st. Little Christmas baby.
I want to say a little after a year old.
Yeah.
They get a little more calm.
Yeah, that's what everyone tells me, and I just kind of nod and smile, and I'm like,
yep,
sure, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah,
it's fine. He's very adorable. Sure.
Yeah.
This will be great.
Yeah, he is. He's very adorable, but from the footage and pictures I've seen, he does not know what social distancing is.
No, not at all. And that's a plus. If you sign up for my Patreon, you do get regular pictures of my pets. So added value right there, folks.
Agreed.
All
right.
So we're out. We'll see you guys next month.
Yeah.
Peace.
Bye-bye, everybody.